Hello friends, thank you for stopping by my channel. I'm Nikki and this is Nikki Joe Budgets. Welcome if you're new here and thanks for coming back if you've been here before. Today we are going to get into the budget planner and we are going to go over some things budgeting our second paycheck of the month and a few other things that I haven't discussed or that we haven't gone over yet. This might be a little bit of a lengthy video. I am a couple days behind because I was out of town, so let's just get started. So this is my budget binder, if you're new. My budget planner, I guess I should say. I wish that I didn't have that glare, but I don't know how else to adjust my lights so that you don't have the glare. So anyway, here we go. So we're going to get into the month of April. And I need to put my thing in here that marks my pages. We are working with the second paycheck of the month. Okay, so I went ahead and filled in the actuals this time off camera. I think that's going to be easier to fill them in off camera and just talk about them when we budget. So we got paid. This here is our estimated budget amount. This is what we are budgeting for. If the paycheck is less or more, we add that down here at the bottom. I have that covered up because I do not disclose my actual income. This column here is our bills and our fixed expenses. These are our bills, including our subscriptions and credit card bills. So everything is listed here. This is what we budgeted for. And then that total came to $670, and what I actually had to put aside for it came to $488.60. So that worked better in my favor, so I budgeted extra high on that one. So let's see what that equals out here. So I budgeted over by $181.40, which actually worked out good because I budgeted under on this one. Doesn't look like I wrote down my total here. So I had budgeted for $100 on my debt, which would be my Klarna, Affirm, and Afterpay. This is where I list those. And I actually needed to pay $171 on those. And then over here, my wallet always gets $50. And this particular paycheck, I wanted to be able to put in $30 for the dogs, $10 on birthdays, and Christmas gets $25. In reality, I was able to put in the $150 in my wallet, $30 for the dogs. I can save $20 for birthdays, $50 for Christmas. And then I have my Mondays, my Tuesdays, and my Saturdays, which are my stuff and save or my savings challenges that I do. And I put aside 30, 12, and 14 to cover those. And then this particular week, I had a lot of business expenses to cover, which was part of my out of town on Friday. That I needed to go get some new supplies for things that will be dropping in my Etsy shop here coming up soon. I'm hoping to have my Etsy shop opened by the end of May. So business supplies, $200. So down here is where you will put your total for your bills and fixed expenses, your total for your variable expenses, and your total for your debts, all down here. And then your balance is your income minus these numbers, which mine's written there, but I had a little extra, so it's not exactly spot on. But that is how, sorry about that. That is how I budgeted out my paycheck this week. So that being said, let's flip over. Now we can flip to our cash envelope budget for this paycheck, which is this sheet right here. So what we are going to be able to stuff and save this week is a total of $156. And we are going to break that down. I don't follow exactly how this is right now. I didn't cross it out, but I'm doing it in a way that's going to make sense to me. So I get paid bi-weekly. So this money here is what I'm saving out of this check. That total amount is going to go into my high yield savings account. Okay. The breakdown of it is this is where it's going to go. These are the binders it's going to go into. Okay. And then this is the amount going into each binder. So all of this goes into the high yield savings account, but this is where the prop money will get divided amongst them so that I know which, how much of this money is in each of these categories. Now, I do already have a bucket in my high yield savings account set up for Christmas. So 50 of this will dump into this bucket. The rest of it will dump into my, just my generic savings that it sits into until I reach certain amounts to create these other buckets. And when that happens, we'll discuss it. I'll do a video. But right now, what you need to know, what we need to focus on is that we are putting $156 into the high yield savings account so it can start building interest while we fill up these binders. And that I'll fill with prop money. So that's where we're at for how we're going to do this cash envelope budget. This up here tells me, the tally marks show me how many dollars I need of each denomination to be able to break it down into my envelopes. So this week's check, we are saving $156. Now, last week, I believe it might have been the week before, I showed you, stick this back in there, how we were going to be doing our weekly budget page. And we did not come back and talk about it. So let's talk about it now. Okay. So I had intended the week of April 6th through 12th to not spend any money on those 3 days. However, that did not happen. And I also did not track for Saturday and Sunday. So this was the first time I was using this sheet. So it's not completely filled out, but this is where I left off with you guys. So I want to show you now for the week of April 13th through the 19th, which was last week. I had intended on no spend for these 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And these are the categories that I would spend money in. So I went through and wrote down on Monday, I spent money at Amazon. I spent money at Goodwill, which all 3 of those were for business expenses. I did eat out twice. Those weren't both in the same day. They just both came out that day. So I wrote them down. One of them was from the previous Friday. But since I had not completed this sheet, I still wanted to account for it, so I went ahead and put it there. Tuesday, I did not spend anything. Wednesday, did not spend anything. Thursday, I was not supposed to. However, I did spend money on Amazon. I spent money on Venmo, which was a shirt that I bought for work. And I had to get wiper blades for my car, so $53.40 on that. Then Friday, I told you I was out of town. A lot of business expenses happened that week or that day. And I wrote down everywhere I spent money on that category. On that day. Saturday was yesterday. And I did not fill this out yet. I need to complete this because yesterday I did go to the grocery store. Today, yesterday I went to the grocery store and I had to order new shoes for work. Today, there has been no money spent, so I can actually write no spend on here. Now, what we're going to do, and over here, I have made my categories. A necessity would be, like I had to buy that shirt for work, I had to buy shoes for work, that's a necessity. Random miscellaneous impulse shopping, that's when I'm just buying stuff to buy stuff, which I'm trying to cut down on this. Amazon also falls into that random miscellaneous category. However, I wanted a separate dot for Amazon because I wanted to keep track of how much I'm actually spending on Amazon. So I really want to cut back on the green category and the orange category. And it's hard, but I'm trying. Then what we're going to do, and I can't do it right now because I did not fill in my stuff for yesterday. But once I fill this in, we'll add them up and we'll write them over here and see what was spent. I did spend money today. That won't be a no spend day. I forgot that I ordered stuff from Walmart. So we will get this filled out, and when I come back on to do the next weekly budget video, we will address this again, okay? For next week, that is going to be April 20th through 26th, so starting tomorrow. My intentions, and I don't know if you can see this because that green is really light. Let me see if I zoom in, if you can see it better. So for next week, I have my no spend days set for Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That is my intention for next week. Hopefully, I have more no spend days than those 3. I do have my, I may be going somewhere on Tuesday, so I left that open, and I never know what's going to happen on the weekend. So we are set up and ready for next week. So I just wanted you to see that how we're going to budget out for the week. I don't include the bills on this one because my bills are already paid. They're all paid up through my next check. So that's where we are on our budget. I know this gets confusing, and I apologize. If I keep with it and keep with consistency, eventually this will all be a piece of cake. It'll go smooth as butter every time I do it, and hopefully we won't have as many questions. But right now we're just working it out together. So the other thing I wanted to, oh yeah, so also on here I've been marking when I wanted to do my videos, since my planner for my business planner has not arrived. It has been sitting in Columbus, Ohio for over a week at the Columbus Regional Distribution Center. I have no idea why it's not being delivered and why it's being held hostage, but that has my business planner in it. And as soon as I get it, I can put these things in the right planner. But right now I just want them in here so I don't forget. Again, I'm going to fill this out off the camera. We'll come back to this when we do our weekly budgeting for our next check. Also, coming up, it's getting close to the end of the month. We're also going to be doing our setup for our May calendar. So stay tuned for that coming up, and then probably next weekend. All right, guys, that's just the check-in for the weekly budget. I feel like there was something else I wanted to tell you, but I'm still trying to iron out the wrinkles, and hopefully you stick with me and we iron out our wrinkles together. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll try to answer anything I can. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let your friends know that they can come join this Hot Mess Express with us. And yeah, have a great and God-filled day, guys. See ya.